want y'all to listen to this. It's very important to the weather research that I've been collecting over the last several weeks and really the last several years, but really particularly the last several weeks. Listen. Sorry for the intro, I should have had it cued a little better. But you gotta check this out. Really realize what's going on here. These cell phone towers.
You just mentioned contrails.
Listen to
so
this.
How do the contrails affect or have an impact on the climate?
Right. Well, contrails have a huge impact on climate, and so in fact, some of the recent modeling work that has come out of DLR suggests that contrails today, just the ones that we're able to see up in the sky, maybe today, this week, this month, have a larger impact on Earth's climate than all of the carbon dioxide emitted by aircraft since the first powered airplane flight. So that's a huge effect.
Did you hear that?
So even as CO2 accumulates,
realize
greenhouse
how
gases
much
accumulate
that
in the
is?
atmosphere,
Realize
the
how
impact
massive
of these contrails trapping
amount
heat
that
and
is?
reflecting sunlight back into space is having a huge effect on the Earth's energy balance. And so
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're dumping more particles this week than all of the aviation since the very first plane. That's why our skies are so toxic. That's why we're all have a chest infection.
So a
That's why we're
2-week
all
dose
sick.
is like a
That's why all the
200-year
plants
dose.
and the trees and the bugs are dying. Let's get into this a little bit deeper. Alright, ladies and
look at
gentlemen,
this,
welcome
too.
back to Above Ground World.
This is that superstorm that just passed over. Everything in the green, that's all the rain we had in Texas. Now it's over on the East Coast.
And if you listen to that guy, he just told you that they're spraying heavier trails now than any time. And I mean, all the spraying this week is worse than all the aviation spraying since the beginning of flight.
He's talking this week in particular. We just got a 200-year dose.
Or the global warming people.
It's just been going on for 2 weeks.
They're the ones doing the stratospheric engineering, and then we gotta put up with the mainstream faking the news. Check this guy out, faking the news.
Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. Faking the news. Golly. Acting like it's super hard to stand up. It's ridiculous. And people are just walking around normal in the background. That wind's not as hard as it looks. You can do so much fakery with cameras. It's ridiculous. See, and then they use that computer-generated image right next to it to fool the viewer. Ridiculous, and they cut out and edit the parts that they want. They try to do it live. You can tell it's live. They're trying to get away with it live. You know, even though there's people walking around in the background like normal. It's crazy that they're getting away with it live. They're actually doing that live. It's ridiculous.
Mainstream. Anyway, let's get into the real news.
It's ridiculous.
The real news is we have weather.
Yeah, now this is what you need to listen
in the desert. That's right, in the desert. Anyway, let's jump into some of the headlines. We'll get into all the weather warfare here in a minute. And here we go. Do you guys remember me talking last night, or maybe it was the night before, about how the polar vortex winds, the wind speed wasn't high enough, and then we got down to the jet stream winds, and I was like, that's the polar vortex winds are mixed. They're like the jet stream winds. They got them reversed. And what do you know? The next day, they come out with this. A commercial flight hit an absurdly fast 801 miles per hour while flying over the United States, which that's a pretty much a clickbait title right there. A Virgin Atlantic flight making the grueling journey from Los Angeles to London yesterday hit a ground speed of 801 miles per hour. thanks to a streak of fast-moving air in the jet stream over Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right.
You're probably wondering how a breaking the sound barrier over land is illegal, but despite surpassing the speed required to break the sound barrier, there was no sonic boom.
It was a super
And no,
flight.
the Virgin Atlantic flight wasn't in some super special mystery jet.
Super special. Mystery
Well, what happened?
jet.
It was on the flight radar. The flight radar just made it think it was hitting that kind of speed. But anyway, they wanted to make it look like they were cruising that fast. The typical cruising speed for a plane of this size is around 560 miles an hour, which is way long off of the speed of sound is 767 miles an hour, and blah blah blah. Anyway, that's just wanted to throw that out there. I just think it's weird how we talk about stuff, then the next night the mainstream kind of seems like there's always a story to go with it. And here's what I'm talking about. We're looking at the polar vortex winds. Now, they disintegrated this thing back in December and split it all apart and ruined it. In fact, let me show you what it's supposed to look like. We'll go back to like 2016. And you can see the real bright whites. This is the speed of the polar vortex. It could be in tons of different little vortices up here, but the speed should be way up. And ever since they split the polar vortex apart, it's trying to regain itself. The winds are gone, the high-speed winds. But look, you go down to the jet stream, here's the polar vortex winds.
Crazy, right?
They have them tapped into the jet stream. Go back. Let's go back to 2016 and see what I haven't done this yet, so let's just see. See, look at that. I mean, it does got some right there at a super big ridge.
See?
But look at the winds where there's no big ridge or nothing. They're
super
normal.
ridge.
So that's just another way they
everything is
that they're screwing with our skies. I mean, it's I documented this like crazy. So yeah, our polar vortex winds is somehow down into the jet stream, which we know how. All right, here's some more news coming out of Australia. The GM crop review finds extending moratorium will cost South Australian farmers millions. Well, what happened is the South Australian government will consider overturning a long-standing ban on genetically modified crops. So they're getting ready to ruin any organic crops down in the outback. It's not bad enough they burn them all out just like they did in California, and not bad enough that they flooded them all out. And now, it's not bad enough they killed half the cattle on the whole island, the whole continent. And now they're gonna ruin the crops, man. This is all New World Order stuff. And thanks Sandfly for sending these articles to me. Here's some more news that gene-edited babies are here. But we need to talk about the unwanted side effects. We don't know what the side effects are. I mean, they're going to start coming out with zombies. So, just crazy news. We can't let none of this stuff happen, man. If we do, it's all over. And now here's a freaking death tower here. Here's a microwave on a stick. This thing's been up for quite a while, like 50 years. The most hostile environment of any broadcasting site. Why put a transmission tower on Mount Wellington? Anyway, this thing's been overlooking the city for over 50 years, but nobody knows what this tower itself is doing.
It's a super tower.
And when you look at this tower, to me it's probably a Gwyn tower, probably a microwave tower. Look at the size of the wires going up in there.
Affect the weather.
So this is definitely a weather modification tower, and it's massive. Just like these cell phone towers. You got cell phone towers all over the place and you have no phone signal.
Yep, got them all over.
That's because they're mainly just a tracking device and a weather control system. Anyway, look, all these links will be in the description if you want to read them. Here we go, some more Australian news. Hey, thanks, sir, Michael.
And have no signal.